Is India the new Donald Trump obsession? What is making Trump and his team go after India? As India navigates to counter the 25% tariff while maintaining a bilateral relation with the US, the Trump cabinet seems to continue the India jibe which the president started last week. Trump, who has time and again called India a friend and praised Russian President Vladimir Putin, has suddenly directed his attacks against these two countries. Trump accusing India of having the highest tariffs in the world, thus letting the world's oldest democracy to do relatively little business. He also said India has obnoxious non-monetary trade barriers, even as India and the US are talking to reach a deal on bilateral trade. Trump has also announced to levy an unspecified additional penalty on India for what he called buying a vast majority of their military equipment from Russia and are Russia's largest buyer of energy. But now one of the top Trump's aide has accused India of financing Russia's war in Ukraine by purchasing oil from Moscow.
So what he said very clearly is that it is not acceptable for India to continue financing this war by purchasing the oil from Russia. People will be shocked to learn that India is basically tied with China in purchasing Russian oil. That's an astonishing fact. India portrays itself as being one of our closest friends in the world, but they don't accept our products.
But this is not the only case. Earlier, US Treasury Secretary Scott Besant said that Trump, along with the US trade negotiators, was a bit frustrated with the Indian side and said India has not been a great global actor.
Well, I don't know what's going to happen. It'll be up to India. India came to the table early. They've been slow rolling things. So I think that the president, the whole trade team's a bit frustrated with them. And also, India's been a large buyer of sanctioned Russian oil that they then resell as refined products. So they have not been a great global actor.
India's had a market that's been pretty much closed to American products, and we've been wide open to theirs. And I think President Trump is frustrated with the progress we've made with India, but feels that a 25% tariff will address and remedy the situation in a way that's good for the American people.
And the same was reiterated by US Secretary of State Marco Rubio during the Brian Kilmeade radio show on Fox News.
India is an ally. It's a strategic partner. Like anything in foreign policy, you're not going to align 100% of the time on everything. India has huge energy needs, and that includes the ability to buy oil and coal and gas and things that it needs to power its economy, like every country does. And it buys it from Russia because Russian oil is sanctioned and cheap, and meaning they have to, in many cases, are selling it under the global price because of their sanctions.
Yep.
And that, unfortunately, that is helping to sustain the Russian war effort. So it is most certainly a point of irritation in our relationship with India.
But is this a Trump tactics to isolate Russia from its allies and neighbors? First, he accused Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky of gambling with World War III. Then Pentagon, for a brief period, paused supply of weapons to Ukraine. But then, after a phone call with President Putin, Trump said he was very disappointed. But the US-Russia war of words escalated after former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev described Trump's ultimatum if Moscow did not reach a deal as a step towards war. Trump, who asked Medvedev to watch his words, ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions. But India, which has been maintaining that it is not an era of war, cannot be targeted for following its geopolitical strategy of maintaining relations with its ally Russia, while the US is making investments in developing oil reserves of Pakistan, which is harboring terror masterminds. Bureau Report, India Today.